Hi, in this video I'm gonna show you how we can do a basic digitizing using the Embrilliance StitchArtist. For uh, this video I'm using the StitchArtist level 2. Embrilliance has the StitchArtist, it has 3 levels. For this basic digitizing can use any of the 3 levels, but in the video I'm using the level 2. Uh, for the purpose of the digitizing, I'm using this flower from the Open Clip Art. So here, before I start to show you how we can do that, first let's quickly look at the interface. So usually when you open the StitchArtist, the part here is for do some transformation, changing the size or those kind of things. You can do it here. This is it's the 3D view that is make it in the real view, or that just show the stitch, and this is show the density, and it's the zoom bar, the distance, it's a stitch simulation, and here is the basically here you can create or digitize it. Uh, to that one thing that we want to start with, to set the hoop before we start anything. So you can either click it here on the preference or go on the edit, click on the preference, go to the hoop and choose the size of the hoop one. For this purpose I just choose the 100 by 100 millimeter, or basically 4 inch by 4 inch, but you can use any of them. So you just set the hoop, make sure you have the right hoop size, and then I can go ahead and uh, uh, here we can open the if you have any design you can open it, but if you want to import it, we have to click on the create, and then here have the click to import the image. In StitchArtist 1 this vector file is not there, so here we can also import the vector, but if we are in StitchArtist 1 we can also just click on image and import the image, and we can import the image. After we have it, we can go ahead and resize it to the size that we want. So make sure that it fits the hoop, and then can again click here, go outside, and we can center it uh, uh, to the center. So I think this one, we can click on this one just to center it. If we can't want to fit the hoop, we can just click on that one and we try to fit it in the hoop. For that, in StitchArtist we cannot set the fabric. It has this fabric advisor that gives us some advice, but as far as I know it's not gonna change the stitch type or stitch properties based on the type of fabric that we are using, at least as far as I know. I wish it did, but it does. So after we have it here, we have the image, we can come here and lock it to make sure it's not moving during the time that we are working. So we can just click it and lock it, so it's not we cannot select it anymore, so it's not gonna move on canvas. Do that. Stitch art, so we can do that. So before I started to show you how we can digitize it, let's just very quickly look at the type of stitch we can use. In StitchArtist, we can use either this one. In StitchArtist 1 only we have this one, or this one to draw anything. So we can either click here, 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 and then draw something, or we can use the other one to draw. The second one is the Bezier mode, is more, if you are familiar with the vector graphic software, that's probably is that one. And the first one is simpler mode that we can draw that. So we can use either these two or any other one to draw. So assume the basics of how we do that, we draw something here, we use this button, and then we assign the stitch to that using this part here. So the basic stitch that we have is just something that like a running stitch, something like that. um, Assume something like that, and then it's just running a stitch. So if I zoom in, so you can see it is the running stitch, and I can just change it to, for example, any other type of stitch that I want. So it's basically a start from one point and end in another point. So this is probably the very basic types of stitch that we have. The next type is the fill, the simple fill. So I can click here. Let me use the other one. So and click here to close it. So I have a close shape, and then if I come here and click on the fill, so it's the simple fill. So what I have here is just simple stitch filling the area. To do that, and then I can change the angle of the stitch like that if I want. So that's the basic fill. The next type of fill that we can use is the satin fill, and again we can do it two ways. Or one way is just draw something like that and close it, and then come here and click on this satin fill, and it try to create a satin fill like that here. And then if you're happy with the direction of the stitch, we are okay. If we are not, we can come here, click on that, and add the direction of the stitch. So for example, I can come here and add, say, I want the stitch goes like that here, and then I want it to go like this here, I want it to go like this here, and then press enter, and then you will see the direction of the stitch will change based on that. The other way that we can create a satin fill is using this one, and basically we just assign one edge, the opposite edge, one edge, the opposite edge, one edge, the opposite edge, and it automatically assigns the direction of the stitch. So if I click on that, into one edge, the opposite end, one edge, the opposite edge, 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 assume something like that, and click it, and we see it automatically add those stitched direction. So you can go ahead and change it if you want it, or change the shape if you want. So this is the satin stitch, and then the other one is the border one, the border line. So it's, again, if I go ahead and draw something like that and then close it, I can have the border line. So either it can be the border like that using the single stitch or any type of a stitch like that, or you can have the satin border. So click on that, it's going to be something like the satin border instead of the satin fill. And also, if I have something, again, if I have something like that, instead of using, for example, the regular fill, I can use the motif fill. So you can click on the motif fill, you can come here and select from the category, and then select from whatever motif type I want. Here, for example, I add it, and it's gonna make a motif fill. There are other type of stitch and fill here, you can play with that, but basically these are the main one that we will work with. So let me just select all of them, delete them, and then I can come here and zoom to hoop, so I can have it here. When we want to start digitizing, the very first thing that we have to decide is that which part we are going to digitize first, and then what's going to be, which part we are going to sew first, and what's going to be next, and what's going to be next, and what's going to be next. For this digitizing, I'm going to do this part first, then do the leaves, then do the purple part, and then do the yellow part. So I'm gonna start to do that. And it's not a big deal if you later on decide that you want to change the uh, uh, sequence. You can easily come to this sequence um, window and just change the sequence there. By the way, before I started, this is the properties. So everything you choose, it shows the properties of whatever you selected, and then you can change the property of that here. So it changes based on what you're selecting or what you're doing here. So again, I'm on the creator, and I'm gonna start to draw this part first. So I want it to be satin, the narrow, so probably I'm gonna use this one and to create a satin. Remember, when we want to draw something, if uh, there's a edge between two part, we usually want to have the overlap between two parts, and the reason is that when we sew them, it's gonna be pulled away, and if there's not an overlap between them, there might leaving a gap between the two objects. So anytime that two objects has a shared edge, make sure you're leaving some overlap between them. Okay, I will start with this one. So I'm zooming here. So I'll assume I just start from here to here to here, 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 here. Okay. And then I zoom here, and I will leave some overlap between this green one and the purple one. So eventually this green one is going to be beneath or under that the purple one. And now I press enter, so it's going to be selected. Now that I have it, if I want to change the direction or anything, I can do that. Then now I will go to the color. After you have your first drawing here, you can come here and click on the color or thread. If there's any specific thread color you want to use, you can come here and choose whatever thread color you want to use. So for example, I'm gonna just say, okay, use the broader embroidery color set. And then if I click on that, I can come and select whatever color I want from this color. So for example, this color. And here, if I click on that, if I choose any other color, I click on that, it will convert all the colors I have to the color thread I chose here. So I can come, if I have the green from the other set, so it will convert it to, for example, here, broader embroidery. The next I'm gonna do this leaf. So let me first measure the width. So I will click on that. So it's about 18 millimeters. You can see it down here, it's showing it down here. So it's about 18 millimeter. So it's very uh, uh, wide for the satin. So I'm going to do the fill stitch. So I'm going to click on that, and I will turn off. So I will go ahead and I will try to leave some you'll see this here, I will try to leave some overlap between them. So I will go from here, here, here. I'm just not going very in detail. You may want to do it in detail if you want. So I will fix that point later. So I will go there. And then again, I will leave a little bit overlap between them. And then I will click close. Now I will go ahead and fix some of the points. So here, for example, here I click on that. I want it to be very sharp, so I will turn it to the cusp, and then it lets me to change it. So I will zoom a little bit so I can change that. And if I want it, I can move it a little bit here. Also, this part I wanted to be a straight line. I think I have to select this one and I don't know how to let me click on the line to see if it's make this one line or the previous one. So click on that, and line. Okay, that was no, so I have to choose this one. So click on that, select, click on line. So yeah, it makes it line. And then you see I have some overlap here. There's some overlap here. I'm just gonna make it probably a little bit more straight. Okay, so there's some overlap between these two sections. And I'm done, so I'm just selecting it and click on fill. So it's gonna be a fill. Now I'm gonna do this one, this part next. So this again, I will click here. I will go ahead, try to leave some overlap, and then go ahead. Then I will fix that part later. Zoom in again. I will leave a little bit overlap with the previous one, and then close it. Again, I click on that, make it line. So this part is gonna be line, and bring it a little bit here. So yeah, there's an overlap there. And then I will want to fix that, so click on that, make it cause, and then change it like that. Okay, and forward. Okay, that seems okay. So now that I select that, and again make it a fill. So up to here, so I have all the green part drawn. So next I will go ahead and start to work on this purple part. So here again I will click here. Again, the last thing I'm gonna draw is the yellow part, so I'm gonna leave some gap here between this yellow part and purple part, so it's gonna be covered. So there's not gonna be any gap. So I'm gonna leave some overlap, so there's not gonna be any gap later on. So I click here, click here, click here. So again, we have the overlap here as well. And here, and close it. So there, seems okay. So now I'm gonna, again, I want it to be a fill, so I'll make it a fill for the color. So I'm gonna click on that. I don't want it to be green. So call this one. So yeah. So let's click on 3D to see how it looks. Okay, so it looks like that. For the other four, one thing I can do, I can just copy and paste it 4 times and rotate it and place it on them. It's much easier, faster, but I'm just gonna do that by hand so you see how we can do that. I just continue. I'm not gonna in very detail try to go quickly, so you can do it in much more detail. Remember to leave some gap between some overlap here. The next one, here, and close it. Again, this one we leave some overlap and go across that and close. And the last one, so start from here, and leave some overlap and close it. So now I have all of them. So I come here, select the first one, hold on the shift, select the last one, and all of them fill. So now I can go ahead, click on 3D, so see, so I have them. So the only thing is left is this yellow part. So I can do either come here and draw a circle to that, or I can simply just do the same way I did it up to here. So I can come in, click, 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 and get it. So for example, I click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, and close. And then I have that circle. And again, I want it to be fill. Click here on the color, change the color to something more, probably yellow. Okay, so now I have everything there. So I don't need this one, so I can go ahead and click on the lock and hide, so the image it's not there any further. And I can come here in the view and say, okay, show me the jump. So we want to see if we have any jump there, and can work on that. So one of the things we can do right now, we can go ahead and click on the stitch simulator, and we can see how it's gonna be stitch out very quickly. So it's gonna be like that. The next thing is that after we have it, we can do it whenever we are doing each part, or we can do it later. We can go ahead and start to set the properties or change the properties of each of them. Usually the properties are chosen by the software are good, but you can change them if you want. For example, here, assume I want to change the angle for this fill to be look like that, and then angle for this fill to look like that. So I can do that. So change the angle. If I select either of the object I drew, these properties open here, and there are a couple of things that's important. One of them is the density. So basically it shows how dense are the stitch, and if you want the point for that it has it here is the standard one. Usually there's nothing going to be shown beneath that. If you want to be less dense, and the fabric or whatever is beneath that to be shown, so you have to increase this number, for example, to a higher number. So you can go ahead and change this density to make it less dense or more dense in your design. The other thing that you might be working with that is this pull compensation. And I said that whenever we have the two objects share an edge, when we put it on the machine, there's going to be pulled, the fabric was going to be pulled when all these stitches going on, and it might leave a gap between the two adjacent objects. So that's why I try to leave some overlap between them. You can also do it automatically. The software will do that, and I will show you here. So let me go ahead and hide this, and also let me hide this. So if you look at here, come here, so there's the edge of the object, and as you can see, these are the stitch point here. So the stitch points are, let me see if we can show the stitch points. So yeah, so you see all the stitch points are gonna be on the edge of the object. So if I come here and let's say I go ahead and change it, for example, to, let's say, 4, and this as click enter, you see now the stitch points are gonna extend it beyond that edge. So in case that they're gonna be pulling in the fabric, they're not gonna be leave any gap, and you can have it there. So as you see, when I did digitizing, I tried to have the overlap, or you can just not have any overlap and then come here and add it there. The other stuff here, for usually you can come and look at it, the underlay. Usually what is the choosing automatically is good enough, but you can come and if you want modified any other value here. So let me just make these available. Then the next thing that we have to think about it when we are doing the digitizing is that is there going to be a jump or the trim, and for that purpose we have to think of if there is how we can reduce the jump or trim. So before I go to the jump or trim, let me go ahead and add the outline here and here. So let me okay, turn it off, and I show you then how we can use that outline sometimes to hide the jump or any connector stitch that we have. So I will go ahead, click here and try to add the outline. I'm just for purpose of showing, so I'm not going in very detail, but you can do it in more detail. I try to follow the outline here. So I'm gonna have this outline, and don't worry about those parts that doesn't seem okay. We are gonna to fix them later. So go ahead here and then go ahead there and then enter, and we have this line. For the color, I'm probably gonna choose the black, dark gray. So where's it? So it's a black color, and then I will probably just click on the run stitch, so assign the stitch to that, and I'll probably make it back stitch so it's a little bit more, and then I will go ahead and fix those parts that it didn't look like looks right. So I will put this one, so I make it awesome, so you can go ahead and fix that part. This part here probably should be fixed again. Make it cusp and fix it here. I think there was another one here. Okay. So it's gonna be look like that. It's gonna be look like that. This one should be fixed as well. It's gonna be cusp. So yeah, put it there. And this one also. I make it cusp and change it to make sure it's gonna be right. Remember one other thing I just want to show you. I'm gonna show you very quick here. Whenever you draw something here, you can modify it by the point. Also, it lets you to just grab the line itself and modify it. You can do that as well. Anyway, so that was wanted to show you. And then if you want to add a point, just double click anywhere you want to add a point. You can add a point. Or if you want to delete it, just select it and press delete that point as well. So that part I want to say that. So this is the outline for, let me show it. So it's the outline here. And then I'm going to add the outline also for this one here. So I can draw the outline, or I can just try to use what is already. So I copy this and I just paste it over that. So it's going to be right on top of that here. I'm just going to move it later. And then I'm going to change the color to black. So black, and then I'll come here and change it to, that I can have it as a single border, or I can have it as a satin. So let's have it as a satin. And then I can come here, probably it's too wide, and make it 2 mm. Okay, so I have this border. So, and now that I have border, I can go and take a look at the jump. So let me go to see, I go to the Stitch Simulator and I do the very first part. So you see it's doing the first part here, and then from there it will jump all the way down here, and then it's doing that, and then it's doing that. One thing that we can do is that if you're in Creator and go in the Create Zone, you can click on Auto Entry Exit. Most of the time it try to take care of the jumps. You can click on that to see if it helps. Or now I do that. Let's go ahead and try it again. So again, you see it's do that, and see it's finish it here, and right away it started from, so it get rid of that jump from top to bottom. So it's going there, and then it does the jump here. So probably we don't have a jump there. I don't know if you can probably can. So it goes there and it's gonna jump there. So we don't want that jump. You probably want the jump be done here, so we can hide it beneath that outline. So let's go back here. So I will select this. So you see that these are the green line shows the start of the field, and the red line shows the end of the field. So that's okay. I wanted to start here, but I wanted to end here. So I'm going to grab that and put it right all the way down here. So it's going to start here and down. Now I will click on this one. So this one is start here. So I want it to start right here. So the jump is going to be there. So you see, this is my jump. So the jump is going to be from here to here. And I can leave it like a jump, and as I said, if I select it, so it's going to be hidden underneath of this outline, or I can go ahead and actually try to hide it. So I try to make it the run stitch. So what I can do is that I can go ahead and draw a stitch going from here to here, and press enter, and let's begin with it. So from here to here, and make it just simple single run stitch, and then so it's going from there to there, and I want to move it here it is. So I want it to be between these two. So you see now it's stitched these leaves and comes finish here, then it's stitch this line, and then it's a start to stitch from here, and then you don't have any jump, and that stitch line is under the border, so it's not been seen. Also it's going to be hidden under the border line, this outline that we have. So we don't have any jump here in the green part, but let's again go ahead and zoom the hoop, go to the stitch. So we have nothing here, but let's look at here. So you see it's gonna be the jump there. So if I zoom here, you see there's a jump here, there's a jump here, there's a jump there and there. So basically this is the closest point it finds. I make a jump there. So again, probably this is not the best place to have a jump. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hide the jumps beneath this yellow part. So let me go ahead and hide this, and let me go ahead and hide that. So I want to go ahead and hide all the stitches beneath this yellow. So this yellow part is gonna be there, so I'm gonna hide the stitch beneath that, or the jump beneath that. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna say it starts here, and it doesn't matter where it starts, but I'm gonna say okay, just end here. The next one is that I'm gonna say start here. So now the jumps is gonna be beneath that yellow. So I also am gonna say okay, end here, start here, end here, start here, end here, and start here. So now if you look at it, all the jumps gonna be beneath that. If we are okay with the jumps going be there, that's okay. If you don't want to have a jump at all, again, with similar to what we did previously, we can add the run stitch between them. So how we are going to do that? So here, so I'm going to add the run stitch going from here to here, and I make it the single run stitch, and I should move it earlier, so between these two, so you can see that right now there's no jump between these two. So it's through that, then through that line, and then through that line. We can add there as well, so I can go ahead here, add the line also from here to here, and enter. Also I can go click that one, add the line from here to here, and then I can select this one and then add the line from here to here, and then I can go ahead and select them, hold on the control keys, select them and make them a single run stitch. So now you see there's no jump, so it's through there, run there, through them, run there, through there, run there, and these are gonna be all hidden underneath of this yellow. So they're not gonna, so right now the only jump stitch we have it is this between these two black. So we can either trim it, or if we had the outline here around those purple one, we could have just simply hide it there. So we could have come here and run this jump underneath of that. So we go like this and then start sewing here, so it wouldn't be seen there. So by this point, again, we can go ahead if we want to double check it to see how it's going to be on the machine, and then we look at it. If we find everything is right and we are okay with everything, so we can go ahead either save it or export it to the machine format that we need, and then work with that. So these are the very basics of digitizing with the StitchArtist. As I said, most of the feature I use is available in all the level, except for the satin part that I use here. I use the satin column, but we could have also used this one to just draw the closed shape here and then convert it to the satin. We could have done it that way as well in the StitchArtist one. Okay, a couple of more points before I finish. One other thing is that when we are doing, when we are changing the direction of any of these um, drawing, uh, if you look down here, somewhere here, when I change it, it actually shows you the angle. So if you look at here, I'll go ahead and start to move the angle, and you see it shows the angle down there in the status bar. So you can, if you want to make it exactly at a specific angle, so you can look at down there and it shows it there down here. The other thing that's important I want to mention that is that we need to think about the tie in and tie off when we are doing that, and it means that we don't want to have any loose end of the thread. We want to have a tie whenever we have the loose end of the thread. And it usually is that when we start the color, at the start of any color, we want to tie the thread, and at the end of any color, we want to tie the loose end. If we have any single object, we want to have a tie at both ends as well. If we have any jump or trim, we want to have it. So something like that, so you know that. Here, one thing is that if you go to the here preferences and you go to the jumps, you can just click here to make sure ensure tie surrounding any jump. So if you have a jumps, it's going to be always a tie there. Otherwise you can do it manually, so you can come here. For example, here we start from this one, then we go to this one, then we go to this one. So when we start from this first element, so at the beginning, so there's a loose tie, so I have to come here and say, okay, put a tie at the entry here, so it's connected to the previous one and the next one, so there's no jump, no trim, we don't need anything. And here we finish with the green one, so we have to come here and say put the tie at the exit. The same here again. Here we want the tie at the beginning, and then this one connected to previous one, that one, that one, that one, they're all connected. So we want the tie at the beginning of this. I'm not going to put there, that's just telling you. So we want at the let me do it here, and then for this one we want the tie at the exit. This single object, so for example this yellow one, this doesn't connect it to anything, we want a tie at the entry and at the exit, so at both of them. The same for the blacks also, because they are not connected to each other, they are separate objects. For both of them we need a tie at the beginning and at the end, so we have to add the tie there to make sure there is no loose end there. In case that you don't know if you need a tie or not, probably safest to have it. It's better to have additional tie rather than have a loose end of the thread there. So I think that's it. So that's the basics of digitizing using the StitchArtist. So there are many more features that you can play with it, but I think this video can help to start digitizing manually with StitchArtist.